Talk about Mexican Independence Day. We can call this Teddy Atlas here in Las Vegas, Nevada. You heard from the champ himself, knocking out the competition.
Good evening, everyone. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of The Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. And like our sponsors tonight, we're simply knocking out the competition. I want to thank our sponsors tonight, REDWAVE Tattoo in Fresno, California, located in the River Park area. They do piercing, tattoos, color, cover up. They do production as far as t-shirts. You need some t-shirts done. They even have a barbershop. They're taking care of everything in Fresno, California. That's Rico and REDWAVE. And I want to thank tonight our exclusive sponsor, FIGHTBOOK. Right here, FIGHTBOOK. I got this beanie cap here. I got shirts on order, in hats, in a nice cool t-shirt. Let me tell you about the future of combat sports, which is FIGHTBOOK. If you don't know, go to fightbook.com to pre-register because we're launching June 1st. We're giving you, the fighters, the fans, and coaches a platform like never before. Everyone in the fight game can now showcase their services. FIGHTBOOK is changing the fight game forever. Pre-registration is available now. Just like our awesome sponsors, that's why we can have the guests that we have, because our guest tonight, she's kicking off the month of May for all the mothers out there, all the females out there. We're kicking it off with the one and only. Come on now. You got to know who she is. She has a podcast. I'm hinting. You see her on the camera. We're talking about In the Ring with Christine. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest, Christine Lopez. Welcome to The Fighter's Voice.
Thank you so much for having me.
I know they act like they don't know who you are. I mean, you're everywhere. I put it when I posted that you were going to be on the show. I already got hit up. Bro, you going to have her? Oh, she's cool, bro. What day's the show? And I said, well, we're going to have it this day, but we're going to launch it this day. And they go, okay, make sure you do. So shout out to Rick V, taking care of The Fighter's Voice and looking after his girl in the ring with Christine.
Thank you, Rick V. Appreciate that.
Yes. Now, listen, I want to talk about your podcast, but I want you to deliver exactly about your podcast, because I'm telling you, you have followers and you got supporters. And even if you got a sore throat or a headache, they count on that production. So you got to deliver, and you always deliver. Talk to us about the concept and how you put it together, and where's it at today?
Well, I guess about 8 years ago, I started just dabbling and having a channel, a boxing channel, In the Ring with Christine. And then I thought it'd be really cool for like ladies to talk about boxing, and it kind of be casual, like we're at a bar or we're at a restaurant, kind of like barbershop talk or locker room talk, but it's for the ladies.
Yeah.
So I had been through a couple of ladies, and it didn't quite stick. They were amazing, but you really have to have cohesion, and you have to have a really good energies. And the ladies I have now are awesome. Nika and Crystal, we've been running it together for a few years now, and it's very successful. I mean, it seems like people really enjoy the show.
Well, I tell you what, you got to have that energy, correct?
Yes.
And there's no better energy. I'm sorry if I didn't say it. I'm going to say it again, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go, right here. FIGHTBOOK. It's taken over the future of boxing. You got to look into this, Christine. I'm serious.
I have to.
You
said it's for coaches and box. Yeah, definitely.
And your fighters. I mean, your fighters could go to enroll, and they could get established and showcase their talents. It's like when sometimes, say, for example, there's a promoter, there's a fight going on. Well, you need a cut man, or you need a trainer. That's you all day. I need a 140-pounder.
Right.
FIGHTBOOK.com. Make sure you pre-register. I just had
I like that, because I also do cuts. I'm a trainer, and I like that.
Okay, I'm gonna have to link you up. You gotta tell me what size you are. I'm gonna have to send you one of their shirts. But also, I gotta send you the Fighter's Voice t-shirt. I know I said that last time, but when I saw you in Las Vegas, when I saw you, I didn't have them in San Francisco. When I saw you, I didn't have them with me, and then when I had them, I didn't see you anymore. But
yeah,
it happens. I just gotta send it to you.
No, we'll definitely do that. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what I definitely want to do. Let's keep it real. All the hype, all the expectation, all the promotion, everybody getting millions of dollars. People
Yeah.
getting slapped, people getting pushed, people getting cussed out during the press
Yeah.
conference. I mean, I'm hyped. I couldn't wait. I mean, I almost called in sick just so I don't miss the fights.
Right.
Did they live up to the expectations? What are your thoughts on the whole event itself and where it's at? What did it do for the fight business, and what did it do for the fighters? Most of all, what did it do for the fans?
Well, I tell you what, Fatal Fury, they had the first part right. Fatal. It was a fatal fail. That's for sure. I was like you. I couldn't wait. It was so exciting. And it's like this had never been done. It's going to be in the middle of Times Square, and it was publicized like everybody could come. You didn't need tickets. You could just come watch this great show with what it seemed to be like three headliners, and then,
Arguably,
one red flag after the other. First you hear that they have the red wall around the fence and nobody can see. There was not an audience, only the elite were able to watch the match bouts. And then, you know,
can I stop you right there? Who's the
yes,
elite? I want to know who's the elite.
that's what I want to
Why
know
are
because we weren't there.
Christina? Why
That's
are
what I
not
want to
we?
know.
How come we're not the elite?
Exactly. Exactly. No, I don't know. I don't know if they were, $1 million seats or a few $1,000 seats. I don't know. I just know that the people that wanted to be there were not there.
Yeah,
A lot of people were barricaded out, and it just didn't seem immediately that it was living up to what we had hoped it was going to be. Um, and then, we had the Teofimo and Barbosas. And by the way, Teofimo looked amazing. I was really worried about him. I didn't know where his mindset was going to be because you just never know what Teo you're going to get. So I had rolled the dice and said, I'm going to go for Barboza, just because I'm not sure. We always know that Barboza delivers. And I was wrong, and I'm okay with it. I was okay with being wrong. Um, and then Haney and Ramirez. I think the problem with the Haney and Ramirez, as well as the Ryan Garcia and the Rowley, is that the whole production and even them, they were worrying about each other. They were already talking about the rematch. They were overlooking their opponents,
yes,
and Ramirez, he's, even though some say that he's at the end of his career, he's a heavy hitter, and he's definitely not one to take lightly.
no,
And no, and immediately we saw that Haney looked very gun shy. He would not engage. A lot of people said, he was running so much his shoes came unbuckled. They did come unbuckled. I don't know why. Maybe it was because he was
they
running
did.
around in
They
circles.
did.
Yeah, but and then whenever Ramirez did manage to cut the ring off a little bit, and they would exchange like one or two punches, Haney would grab him. It was like a punch and hold, and the ref did not help with the situation. He didn't. He told him to break. He didn't let them fight on the inside. Like, let's see some of this action,
Yeah.
and it didn't seem like there was any action. I don't even know how they said who won, honestly.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. I mean, that's what happens when you already signed to fight somebody else. Usually, when they do that, they'll kind of give you not a tough opponent, and
Yeah,
they went out on a limb and they signed the rematch already.
yeah,
But their opponents, they had different plans, and you saw exactly
definitely.
what happened.
Yeah, I don't think there was anyone that was going in there with the mindset that they were going to lose.
No,
The opponents, they were like, we're coming here to fight and to win. And I know that Ramirez was probably very frustrated. He did not get to showcase some things that he wanted to. And I'm sorry for that. But Haney he was on the go. Literally, he was on the go. I will tell you that I was so, so impressed with Rolly. He looks so good against Garcia. I mean, really, who would have thought? The old Rolly, he had really bad defense. His only defense was his offense. We know he's a heavy hitter. but he didn't have too much skill set. But working with Solace and the game plan that he had, to neutralize and to drop Ryan and beat Ryan, to me was executed so well. It was excellent. And it seems like Ryan did not, as soon as he was dropped, just everything went from him. Any kind of confidence, whether it was real or false, was gone. He did not try to do anything. It seemed he was done.
I agree with you on a lot of things. And first of all, let's talk about the first fight. Teofimo
Yeah.
Lopez and Arnold Barboza. Going in, I had it 50-50. And I try to tell myself, okay, pretend you don't talk to Arnold the way you talk to him. And then pretend
Right.
you don't talk to Teofimo's dad the way you talk to him. Because that can hinder your decision making.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I like the momentum that Arnold Barboza had going in. But I said this, and it is on the archives. I said, you do not want to let Teofimo get into a rhythm where he starts moving around, bobbing, sticking his head out, having a good time. And through this entire training camp, he's making dance videos. He's dancing by himself. He is having a great time, which is all the marks for not only a confident, but a very dangerous fighter. And I've always said, he needs to be motivated. He needs someone to push him up against the ropes, so to speak, to wake his ass up and say, hey, Lomachenko wants to take my head off. Hey, Josh Taylor wants to take my head off. Hey, Arnold Barboza wants to take my head off. If that's what it takes, instead of taking these easy fights, easy 1.5 mil in the back, no, stay away from them. Whatever's going to make you shine, stay on that level and continue.
Yeah, he rises to the occasion.
Absolutely, he does. Absolutely. Hands down. And, I like what he said afterwards. Chase your dream. He goes, I don't know who this is for, but he gave a positive message.
He did.
Arnold Barboza, he did the best he could. I mean, he did. His dad had a game plan. They all had a game plan. And Teofimo Lopez had a different game plan. He was not going to be denied that night. And that's how I take that. And that's where
I love to see it because we've seen his life, in front of us on social media. It's been a roller coaster, and I know you stated that you were friends with his dad. I think that the facts, my personal opinion, that his dad has kind of stepped back a little bit and let Tio be his own man and do what he needs to do has really helped a lot.
Exactly. I got to give a shout out to Majestic Zach. He went and said, okay, when Theo wins, and he said this, look for Theo to match up against Boots. After he said that, that's all I've been hearing. Now, is that going to happen? I think Theo has options. Why not fight? Why not fight Rolly? But we'll talk about Rolly and we'll talk about a possible rematch with Ryan Garcia, and because I think that's the direction he's going to go. I talked to Jose Ramirez by way of text, and he says, I said, I think you're going to fight Regis Pro Grace in September, Fresno, California. That's what I'm thinking. And he says, well, I'll give it some thought. I'm available for that if I don't get the Ryan fight, Garcia fight. Jose, I love you, brother, but you're not going to get the Ryan Garcia fight. You're not.
Right.
Ryan's either going to run it back with Devin Haney as plans or run it back with Rolly. And Rolly's going to be the A side. So that's how I feel about that. Let's talk about what you think about. Well, you tell me what do you think about the outcome of Ramirez and Haney. What did it do for boxing? How has it helped Haney? Has he progressed? What's your take on that? Not just yes, he got the W. Everybody loves the W, but what has it done for him? He got the 12 rounds in, but did he get quality rounds? Were questions answered? I know a lot of questions were asked, Christina, but were questions answered in that fight for Team Haney?
No. Well, the only question that was answered was, is he emotionally and mentally ready for the big stage again? And the answer is no. They were talking about how Shane Mosley had come in. He was helping him sit on his punches, to throw more power. I believe he had Nate Jones in there too, Mayweather's old coach. I mean, he had all these things that were supposed to help him through. But at the same time, he has his dad that is literally living on Twitter and social media and making things much worse for him. I mean, the memes that we saw, everything that was coming out, the poor guy, I felt sorry for him. But the thing that they didn't, I talked about this before, the thing that they did not talk about, and maybe they did it and we don't know, is what about the mental side of it? How did he take care of that? Because you can be as strong as you want to be, you can be as fast. Obviously he was conditioned because he was all over that ring, so that wasn't a problem. But what about the mental state? His mental state was not good. As soon as he walked in the ring, he looked like a deer in headlights. He did not want to get hit. It was like, you get in a car accident or something happens, you just never forget that. And anytime you get around a situation like that, you just like, you can't deal with it. And that's exactly how he looked.
No disrespect to Bill Haney. He's always been a straight shooter with me. Devin's been a straight shooter. Hey, what's up, Devin? All about that Bay, like we always talk about. He looked like he started to panic. He looked like he started to, like, okay, I've never been here before.
Yes.
And my buddy told me a long time ago, Richard, when you hit a home run, don't start celebrating. He said, act like you've been here before. Touch all the bases. Come on, touch the plate.
Yes.
Team Haney, act like you've been here before.
Absolutely.
I know when Bill Haney, he's hyping it all up. During this time, this is the only time I honestly think it was a distraction. It helped him in the Regis fight. It helped him in the Loma fight. This time, I think it was a distraction. We all noticed. I mean, I've never seen him. I've always said, Christian, I said, Devin Haney has the best legs in boxing. Meaning, I mean, he's just smooth, he's agile. They were on the panic button. I mean,
they were.
I was thinking like he was going to fight Mike Tyson. I know Jose's a big puncher, but come
seriously. King Kong. The thing is this, you're right. His dad, Bill, has always been great at promoting his fights and hyping him up. He has done an excellent job. But right after, the Garcia fight, he took to social media and he was on there all the time and he was criticizing and talking, and then the lawsuit came. There was back and forth with a bunch of different people, and I just think it made it worse because then we see the memes, we see people making fun of his son. You got to know when to kind of pull back. In my opinion. And can you imagine the pressure that Haney had? It's like, okay, people are saying that I don't really not have an O, that I don't, that it's not true, it's not real, that I did lose. And now I have to prove that I belong there with him again. And then my dad has been talking all this stuff, and I don't want him to look bad on social media. So I can't even imagine the pressure that he had on his back and the stress. I felt sorry for him. Until whenever Ryan, and I'm not going to jump to the fight, but I'll just say Ryan was fighting. And after that, he and his dad were like making fun of him. And I'm like,
laughing.
Okay, but you must not have remembered your performance right before that.
Okay, let me tell you this. Say they would have got it wrong that night and awarded Ryan Garcia as the winner to save that rematch. Judged by both performances, do we really want to see that again?
No.
Not by this. They didn't show anything. They didn't show anything to prove that they deserve to fight each other, to be honest with you.
Not at all. And even bigger than that, okay? So Bill's saying that it's already set up, it's going to happen, whatever, okay? So bigger than that, if you are Uncle Turk, do you want to pay for that? Do you want to lose more money? Do you really want to make that business move of fighting them again?
You know what?
No.
Oscar said it best. He said he feels bad for him. All that money he laid down there. Oscar couldn't even wake up to brush his teeth and get all fit up. He just said, you know what? Fuck it. Put the camera on me. This is the way the shit went down. Had his hair all up right here. Still had some lipstick on his neck.
He couldn't wait.
And a little bit of tortilla on his chest from that quick taco. But he kept it real. You got to give it up to Oscar De La Hoya. He kept it real.
Yeah, he keeps it real. That's for sure.
I appreciate that about him.
I do too.
I mean, a lot of people are saying, well, Richard, Oscar, he's 0 for 3 and he's 0 for something. I said, well, at least he's 0 for something. He's doing something to be 0 for 3. He got his guys there. And he said it
That's
best.
right.
I love Arnold Barboza. I do, but I'm going to keep
Yes.
this real. He said,
Yes.
Team Barboza, just like I told you, I'm going to get you there. And then he says, I did my part. Now do
Now
yours.
it's up to you.
This
Absolutely.
was
That's
before the
what you
fight.
do.
That isn't pressure. That's facts. That's
That's
facts.
fact. It is what it is. Yeah.
It is what it is. He just happened to fight a Teofimo that would have beat anybody at 140 pounds that night. Teofimo would not
Fact.
have gotten beat that night. He just happened to be fighting Arnold Barboza. He could have fought anybody else in the division, Christina. Teofimo was not going to lose that night, period.
No, he wasn't. He made up his mind he was not going to lose, that he was going to be the shining star that we had glimpses of in the
Yeah.
past, and he did what he had to do.
Yeah. No more Miami fights. And no more. If you don't want to, if you're not motivated to fight Jermaine Ortiz, don't take those fights if you're not motivated. Stay motivated.
Right. Stay
Challenge yourself.
motivated.
Stay exactly.
Keep challenging yourself. Absolutely. And he's the only one that has ever had Bud Crawford's name in his mouth. Think about
Exactly. I will say this for what it's worth. Jose Ramirez told me in the elevator, but when he was, I'd like to fight him before, but it wasn't recorded. It wasn't set.
it. Yeah, that was elevator
And
talk.
Teofimo was not in the elevator. He said, I want to fight this dude.
He wants the world to know because he wanted him to know.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about Rolly again with Ryan Garcia. The only thing I can think of is, we went to the show. You saw the antics of Teofimo. You saw Ryan try to be calm, show a different side. And then all of a sudden, it slid out. I mean, you are who you are. Ramirez is always quiet. Always quiet. And I wish I could do an impersonation like what Regis does when he talks about Jose Ramirez. I mean, he impersonates him great because he's just too quiet. And also, I mean, Arnold's, hey, what you see is what you get. As soon as Arnold landed there, he already got in his grill. So we already knew about Arnold. Yeah. But it's usually the Rolly show. Rolly never takes a back seat. His one-liners, I mean, and he means that stuff. But this time he was kind of chill. And I'm thinking, okay, that's a little dangerous because he's focused. And he showed it that night. That is the best Rolly I have ever seen in my life.
Ever.
He had balance. He had movement. He didn't look amateurish. He didn't waste any punches. He reminded me of Lennox Lewis, his punch count. Lennox barely wasted punches. He was on hit. He was on point, followed the game plan, and refused to let Garcia get back into the fight because I can't believe I'm saying this. Rolly established the jab, and if he wasn't on point using it, it was a distraction. He had it right up.
It was beautiful.
It was a measuring stick.
Yes. It was great. And I mean, he was holding that phone all night.
Yes,
He's like, Ryan, you're not throwing that left hook, but guess what? Guess who is throwing the left hook?
Yes.
I am. Yes. And if you're exactly. And if you remember when they were having the face off, Rolly says, Ryan, I know you better than you know yourself.
Yes, he did.
And Ryan said, oh, are you in love with me? No, he was telling him straight facts. I know you better than you know yourself. I know that if I get you off your game and I feed you what you feed others, you're not going to be able to come back. And he couldn't. He could not get it. He couldn't.
And what my concern was throughout the fight, I was telling myself, okay, it's just a matter of time, but okay, try something different. He stuck to the same game plan, and there was no urgency. There was no urgency. There was no fire. There was no putting yourself at risk. There was no maybe a right hand lead, because I'm not landing the left hook. Maybe I should dig down to the body with it. Try something different. Show some urgency. Let all your hands go. Just let them go as much as you can. Show that urgency, and I just didn't see it.
The thing is with these guys and girls, it's about muscle memory,
Absolutely.
And the thing is, if he is not practicing other things in the gym, on the bags, in the shadow boxing, on the mitts, he's not going to do it on the big stage. And all the back and forth, with Reynoso, Derek James, everybody before, it's like he does a lot of hopping. And there's reasons that he gives, and sure, they're legit, I guess. but he has to really buckle down and stay somewhere because he
He does.
hasn't changed his style at all. He relies on that left hook and that's it. So when it's neutralized and taken away, then what is he going to do?
I agree. I agree. And you don't think anybody that's in the boxing business that's going to fight Ryan Garcia is not going to watch out for that chuck hook?
Yeah, I
I,
mean
I
the
had
only
his
one
dad
that
on the
didn't
show.
was Haney.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because like you said, muscle memory. I've been using that word probably the last 3 shows, to be honest with you, Christina. And it wasn't so much about Ryan Garcia. It was just in boxing in general. When a fighter's hurt, he
Yeah,
goes back to muscle memory or good habits,
yeah,
bad habits.
yes,
The
yes,
transition, once you got a new coach, why do you keep fixing it if it's not broken? I mean, I don't understand.
exactly.
I mean, and no knock against Oscar. Oscar finally said, Floyd Mayweather Sr. was the best trainer I had. But after he went to Robert Altazar, Gil Clancy, Emmanuel Stewart, the great Emmanuel Stewart, and then
Yeah, my cousin was trained with
I
him
mean,
too.
you can't
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
hopping and hopping and
everybody.
hopping and hopping and hopping.
Yeah, yeah.
But
You know,
towards the
and
end, I believe he
sometimes
got it
it
right.
works out that way. Sometimes it does work out that way,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you know, I think that Ryan thinks so or thought so highly of himself that he can do whatever he wants. He can jump around. He can still be a champion, and he's the king. I mean, King Ryan, right?
yeah.
Um, he didn't realize that Salas has been in this game for a long time. You know, he's got a lot of world champions, and he's got a lot of guys that really ruin people's plans.
Well,
And
you
he
know
had
what?
a perfect plan. He had a
Shout out,
perfect plan for Rolly.
shout out for Salas, because I'm tired of those trainers getting overlooked. See, if this was
Yes.
full of tequila, I'd tear it up right now for Salas. Okay,
Yeah.
but it's
Oh, for
not.
sure. I
But it's
mean,
not. So he
his
doesn't get
name. Why
overlooked. Let's
hasn't
give him
his
his
name been
flowers.
thrown in the pot for trainer of the year? How come? You know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, leading up to that, my whole take was this: if Arnold Barboza would have been victorious, I had his dad, Arnold Barboza Sr., for trainer of the year.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But see, you know, we talked about just briefly before we go back to these fights. Sometimes it works out, and I agree with you. I mean, look at when Miguel Cotto went to Freddie Roach. Freddie
Yeah.
Roach reinvented him. He
Yes.
was able to
Yes.
have that last run. But
As
just
Salas did with Rolly.
exactly. But just hold that thought, because I want to talk about Freddie Roach right now.
Okay.
Yeah, there's someone at the door. I just got a package right now.
Okay.
Whoa, I just got a package. Okay. To Richard Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice. Thumbs up for Richie. Oh, this is freaking amazing.
Oh, isn't that amazing?
Thank you, Freddie. Thank you, Marie. Hey,
Very
I'll take care of
nice.
the Fighter's Voice. The only voice that matters, Christine, as you know. Wow,
That's
there
what
we
I
go.
hear.
There we go. Even though it's summer, I'll still rock the double X
I
hoodie.
know
I like
that's
them
right.
big.
There's going to be air conditioning everywhere, so
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. Christine, I can't leave this in the bag all summer. Are you kidding me? Next time you see me, I'm going to be rocking it. I may be sweating, but I'm going to be rocking it. Shout out to
As
Wildcard
you
Jim,
should.
Freddie Roach, and Marie. Yes.
Very nice.
So listen, what does this is the main question. What does Ryan Garcia do next as far as his opponent? There's no more taking a year off. There's no more inactivity. You need those rounds. You need to keep your feet on the ground. When I say that, no hopping around. We got to sit down. I think he needs to sit down and talk to his dad. I had his dad on the show 2 days before the fight, and his dad assured me Ryan's in a good spot. I thought Ryan was in a good spot. Mentally looked like he was in a better spot, better position than the last fight. And we
I, I
know how
think
that
I think
outcome came. But there
I
has to
think
be
you know
something
with
distracting him.
him not drinking and not partying as much, he is in a good spot.
Absolutely.
And he's gotten that taken care of. Now he needs to figure out what he's going to do with his career.
I agree. I do agree. If I'd like to, I was going to ask you out of the three winners, or out of the 6 athletes that were there, where do you see their next fight going? Let's start with Arnold Barboza. If you're Arnold Barboza agent or manager, where would you guide him to go and do next? And who's available for him?
Introducing FIGHTBOOK, the ultimate platform connecting fighters, promoters, matchmakers, and everyone in the fight game. FIGHTBOOK simplifies the matchmaking process and empowers fighters to take control of their careers. With FIGHTBOOK, you can post upcoming events, filter for fighters by availability, purse, weight class, location, and more. Matchmakers can find the perfect fit in seconds. No more endless texts or scattered social media searches. Upload contracts and medical records securely, track key dates, and get reminders to stay fight ready. No contracts, no commitments, just the tools you need to succeed. FIGHTBOOK, where fighters find their fights.
Let's start with Arnold Barboza. If you're Arnold Barboza's agent or manager, where would you guide him to go and do next? And who's available for him?
Well, I mean, we've got two guys that didn't win. They were on the same card,
Yeah,
you know. Um, they're gonna need dancing partners, and
that's a possibility with Ryan Garcia.
and
That
I
could
think
happen. They're
that
both
that is
holding
a
more.
possibility for sure.
I
You know, I
think he would
kind
have the edge over the Ramirez because Ramirez, because Barboza
yes,
beat Ramirez. So
yes,
I'm just keeping it 100.
no, you're right, you're right. And then he could either gain traction again fighting Ryan and
Yeah.
beating him, or not.
Okay.
I mean, why not just we saw these guys perform. I think it'd be kind of intriguing to see how they do against each other.
I want to keep it in there. I'd say it's a tournament. I called it a tournament. I said the only
Yeah, I
one
like
who
that.
wasn't in that tournament whose face was not on the poster, actually, and I'm going to throw it
Yeah.
out there, I thought Regis Pro Grace could have been that. And I'm going to get on Regis too. This between me and you, Christine. I'm going to get on him next time I talk to him because he was on vacation. And I was thinking to myself, whoa, 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 whoa. You got 6 guys in your weight division. What if somebody hurts their hand and they don't make weight and you're over there eating freaking tacos and popcorn on vacation? You need to just sit home and go on vacation after that, just for that, just in case factor.
Yeah, and then what's next for Regis too? It'd been nice for him to be sitting front row watching,
Absolutely.
these guys, and
Oh
then
gosh.
calling out whoever he wants to
Christine,
afterwards.
I'm going to interrupt you. I'm getting goosebumps right now because I was just
Yeah,
talking about that. Regis, and I was just talking about that with my girl. Regis's ass should have been sitting ringside. And I told
yeah,
Jose Ramirez when he was on the show when Regis fought Devin Haney, I said, your ass should have been ringside.
facts. Yeah, for
But see,
sure.
what do we know? We're just chilling right here, right? We don't know the
Yeah,
sport of
right.
boxing.
What do we know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
what
agree
about
though.
Chemo? No, let's go from, okay, it was Ramirez. No, we went with Arnold Barboza. Where does Ramirez go from here? What's out there for him?
So,
Besides
honestly, like
Regis Pro Grace.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna be really honest about Ramirez.
Okay.
So I was there at the Taylor fight, Josh Taylor fight, and I really thought that Ramirez was going to beat Josh. Um, and we all know what happened. And honestly, I don't think that he's been the same since then. Um, and I think that even though he's a young 32, he's been through so many wars that he's an older 32 for boxing. And I would honestly like to see him just maybe do something else, because he has a family. He
Yeah.
worries. It worries me sometimes when you hear him speaking, and his reflexes are not as fast as they used to be. And honestly, just as a mom, I'm just kind of concerned with him. So I don't know who he could fight that would be satisfying to the masses, unless it's somebody of a big name. And somebody of a big name is going to hurt him. I really believe. That's just my opinion.
What if he fights Regis in September? I think they're both kind of,
I mean,
made for
they
each other.
probably are going to fight each other in September. They probably are going to fight each other in September. I think they both need a win. They
Yeah.
do. They both need it. So I guess whoever's the healthiest and the more focused and mentally prepared will be the one to win. But they both definitely do need wins if they're going to continue on.
Well, I tell you what, if they are confused, I will say this, then they probably need the future of combat sports, which is fightbook.com, and they should register now because they're launching June 1st. They're giving everybody a platform. They're included in the fighters, because you got the fighters, the fans, the coaches, everyone in the fight game. And I know they don't want to call it a game. It's a contest. Can showcase their services. And Jose Ramirez, you will showcase your services because you're a winner inside and outside of the ring. But we're hoping and that you do the right thing. And that's just give us some heartfelt decisions. You can't really say I want to do this or that right after a fight. Your pride says, I want to fight again. I just want to give them some thought because I care about them. I care about them outside of the ring.
Right,
and, yes, I just had to plug our sponsor once again.
No, that's great. It's like having a little black book and all your, contacts in there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what does Ryan Garcia do? He seems to be the only one besides Teofimo Lopez that has options. I really don't think Devin Haney has options. Not like the options Teofimo has or Ryan Garcia. Even in defeat, I still think Ryan Garcia is holding the strings.
Yeah, I mean, we have to remember too, like Ryan Garcia is not only a boxer that people recognize, but he's also an influencer.
Yes,
he's got the young ladies going goo goo gaga over him. He's done commercials. He did his little tequila commercial, and he's done other things too. I mean, he has many things that he can do, and people, whether they follow boxing or not, they like to watch him and see him and listen to him. His life has been a little bit of a roller coaster too. And there's people that don't like him, so they watch him because they want to see him fail. And there's people that love him and will continue to watch him. So I do agree with you as far as the options, what direction he will go. I'll tell you the direction that I believe he should go, and that is in sticking with a gym and a coach, finding the perfect match for him and sticking to it. And then, talking with them to see what his next move should be, because he definitely needs more tools in his tool chest. He does.
I agree. I tell you what I think is going to happen. I think Turkey Al Sheikh is going to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take it like a professional. I'm going to take it on the chin. We're going to run it back in the main event. You're going to see Rolly Romero taking on Ryan Garcia. And then the co-main is going to be Devin Haney and Arnold Barboza. Teofimo's he's not the opening act anymore. Teofimo's headlining his next fight, unless he's on the undercard of Crawford and Canelo. And that's what we're going to be talking about after we move off the subject. Teofimo's like, I'm not even tripping. I'll be sitting there ringside if you want me there to make an appearance. But I am not the opening act ever again. And I believe he can say that, and he won't be. I think we're going to see Devin Haney take on Arnold Barboza in the co-main event. And, hey, they're going to get the rematch. Now, you got to remember, when Don King had a rematch set up with Magic Taylor, Frankie Randall, he messed all that up. So they ran it back, and it was called the rematches. Instead of Magic Taylor and Chavez, it was Frankie Randall, Julio Cesar Chavez, Simon Brown, Terry Norris, Gerald McCollum, and Julian Jackson. Who else was it?
Your memory is great.
Jesse James Leija and Azuma Nelson. And Ricardo Lopez was on the undercard, but he wasn't really under the rematches. He just happened to be on the undercard.
Right.
Yeah. That's some old school stuff right there, huh?
Man, it is. Like I said, I wish I had your memory. I can't even remember what I ate for lunch yesterday.
Man, I didn't even eat lunch yesterday. No, I think I slept through that part or something. I don't know. I'll make up for it later.
Right. Yeah.
Let me give a plug. I'm trying to diet right now because don't forget, May 17th, Long Beach, California, Marv Nation, the only nation that matters. Fernando Vargas Jr. in the main event. And also Nathaniel Rodriguez in the co-main event. Long Beach, California is going to happen. It's going down. Yours truly. I don't know what capacity they're going to use me, Christine, but I will have the mic in my hand, or maybe a headset mic. Either way, hey.
Congratulations.
Use me and don't lose me. You know what I mean, Christine?
I like that. I like that. That's great.
I just had to keep that real. But that's what I think. I think Teofimo's going to get the fight that he wants, but he'll go headline somewhere else. If he is the co, it's going to be under Crawford and Canelo.
Yeah, it's going to have to be the biggest card that's coming for sure.
So just know all my friends that I know that they're right that we just talked about, they're all pissed off. I'm going to get text messages or I'll get blocked. I'm tired of these freaking people blocking me because I tell the truth. I'm not going to shine your shoes. I'm not going to, okay. Yeah. Hey, if you want someone to shine your shoes, go get another yes man. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not attacking them. I'm not attacking them. I'm saying it with love and facts and respect.
Absolutely. Same, with all due respect, and also you have to keep it real. Like you pick a corner, you see what you see and you talk about it.
And it is what it is.
It is what it is. Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about something that wasn't what it wasn't. And we're talking about Cinco de Mayo itself, Canelo, and the dude he fought, my gosh, he looked like a light heavyweight. Bro, sit there and bang with him. I was thinking if Canelo mixes it up, he's going to get rocked. But this guy's skull was everywhere, but in Canelo's grill.
Yeah, he was. That's true.
But to his, Canelo could have let his hands go too, because he got paid a lot of money.
I was going to just say that. Yes.
He was doing that little two-step, being cute. You do that like when you're, bro, okay, you send your message, but you kept doing it for no reason. You did things for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, he was throwing one shot at a time. He wasn't people. I mean, I was talking to some other friends of mine. They're like, "Oh, he was cutting the ring." He wasn't cutting the ring. He wasn't.
He was about to cut the ring, but he didn't engage. Yeah, he pointed the left foot forward to cut him off, but he didn't engage. Yeah,
but
you can't sit in the middle and just take one step forward.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, he attempted, but he didn't finish the job. So to me, he didn't cut it. He didn't do it. He did not finish the job.
Christine, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. It was half-assed.
It was half-assed. It was. And the thing is too, I mean, something that I don't think you should do in the ring. I mean, it happens because you're human. But Canelo showed frustration all over his face.
Yeah.
You knew that he was irritated, but Skull wasn't going to stop because if he did, he might get knocked out.
No, but
and a lot of people, I even heard people saying they thought Skull won. I'm just saying.
No, I'm laughing because the commentating, they were saying they were having a good time because they were saying Skull thinks he's actually winning.
Yeah,
and he thought so, but I did have a slight concern because I'm thinking, we don't know how they have it. And with the distance, which means you don't have no more control over it. As soon as the 12th round wins, Canelo, you don't, there's nothing more you can do. You have no more control. The control you had was for 12 rounds.
Yeah, but you know what? If you think about it, I mean, so Canelo is the golden ticket, right? He's the one everybody wants to fight for that big payday. Yeah. He is Uncle Turk's big cash cow.
Well, he knew Canelo he was not called him my Theo. He goes, my Theo.
Yeah, exactly.
And he chuckled.
He knew he was not going to lose.
No.
I mean, that's boxing.
When Bud got in that ring, what surprised you the most?
Nothing. I have been telling everybody that will listen that Bud is not as small as y'all think, and Canelo is not bigger than him.
You said nothing, but I was surprised on Bud's size over Canelo.
I know. I know them. I've been around both of them. I know Bud well. I see the size in Canelo when I'm standing next to him. I see the size in Bud when I'm standing next to him. I knew that he was not going to be bigger than him. His back may look wider. Now Bud is catching up with him, but in the past his back might have been wider, but he was not bigger than Bud. He was not taller than Bud. So I wasn't. I was kind of like, I told y'all. He's not bigger.
I had the opportunity and the privilege to watch, certain world champions work out. I've always liked Evander Holyfield's work ethic. I mean, he just his work ethic. Kind of boring in the beginning because he did a lot of stretching. When I saw Bud Crawford work out.
Woo, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I called my friend and a shout out to Shelly Hollis on the black corner. I called, but I said, bro. He goes, how's Bud? I go, all I got to say is he's different. Well, what do you mean?
Different.
I said, no. I can't explain. He's
Yes.
different. You don't
Yes.
see this. What you
Yeah.
see him do completely, you see maybe one fighter say, oh, yeah, he does this part good, or he's good
Yeah.
at this part. I didn't see a weakness in Bud.
No.
The
Yeah,
only time I
I
saw great concentration was he's hitting the punching bag, and someone plays some music, and he says, turn that up. And he started
Yeah.
dancing to the punching bag, feeling,
Yeah.
feeling the good rhythm. Other than that, he is so competitive in there. He kept going from station to station to station and running around. And he kept telling everybody, keep up with me, which means push
Yes.
him.
He's a great motivator.
Oh, man.
I've had the privilege of seeing him work out a few times too, and it is something special. I have never seen anyone that works out like him or as long as he does. But not only is he working out, like you said, he's also motivating all of his peers, all of his fellow boxers, and make sure that they do what they need to do too.
You know what I noticed, Christine, is when he was hitting the speed bag or he was hitting the punch bag, whatever he was doing, he'd be doing something and he's looking around. He's observing. He wants to know, okay, who's in here? Who doesn't belong in here? What are you doing? He's not
Yeah.
just working out. He's checking. He's making sure.
And he's also really good in the corner himself. I mean, I've seen him corner some of his guys in sparring, and he is so smart. His IQ is absolutely phenomenal. There's some professional boxers that cannot coach after they're retired. They can't. They cannot teach. They don't see things. They just know how to fight. And then there's some coaches that have never boxed, but they're great. And
Absolutely.
then you see him and he's so well rounded.
Yeah.
He can work the corner and he can be in the ring.
Some great fighters. Sugar Ray Leonard tried training. He was a better fighter
Yeah.
than he ever was a trainer. And
Yes.
some Christinas, they cannot teach. They can tell you because they know
Exactly.
it's giving it to
They
their
know
people.
why. They don't know how to show you or explain it.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. I agree. And based on Canelo's last performance, right now today, if I had to make a decision, my odds are 2-1 Bud Crawford. I favor Bud Crawford going in this fight.
I mean,
It may
let's go
change a week
one.
from now. It may change every day leading up to the fight, Christine. I'm just keeping it
Yeah.
real 100. I'll get caught up in the hype too, especially if I see Canelo
Sure.
older fights, and as we go on, they point different things out. I don't see when they talk about, I don't want to hear about he's moving up 2 weight classes. He can't do it. Tommy Hearns
Right.
moved up 2 weight classes and he skipped
Right.
middleweight. He went from middleweight, skipped the super middleweight, which they didn't have back then.
Mhm.
Okay, when he lost, he went from 54s because he won the title against Wilfred Benitez. When he tried to campaign at 160, got beat by Marvin Hagler. So what did he do? Moved up to light heavyweight, took on Dennis Andres. So he skipped up 2 weights. So it is
Yeah,
what
I
it is.
mean, this is not anything new. And
Exactly.
the thing is, so after the last performance, you say that's when you would pick Bud. Like I was going further back, and I'm going to tell you why. I
Oh,
mean,
tell me that,
I
and I'll tell you
knew
why too.
when I thought he would win. Okay, I did.
You
I
did.
also
I
maybe I'm also a little biased. I
I
am
saw
a
your
little biased.
I saw your post.
Yes,
But
but
wait,
then I took.
Christine, which I never had. It must be nice, Christine, to have Bud Crawford on your show. That's what's up. That's what's
It
up,
was
girl.
great. It
I
was
was
a
getting a little
pleasure.
jowl. I go, look at Christine doing her thing.
Yeah, it
That's
was
what's
great.
up.
He's such a great sport. He's such a great sport. But so yes, there is, so like you take out your friendship
Yeah.
and the relationship. You try to really think, as far as the technicalities of it all and your boxing brain. And so I said I'm going to do that too. So I will tell you when I said okay, yeah, definitely, but even in the Munguia fight, I mean, I'm sorry, not Munguia, the Berlanga fight.
Okay.
The Berlanga fight, even though Berlanga did not win, the guy, there was things that I saw from Canelo and Berlanga touching him up a little bit on occasion in the pocket with him, and I said, okay, yeah. And then now this skull fight, I'm like, yeah, definitely, because Bud is gonna work angles. He's not gonna stand in front of him, the way Berlanga did. He has so many things that he can use, and Canelo gets frustrated. And you don't see Bud get frustrated. You might see him smile or laugh, and if somebody tells him that he's down, like his corner, what is he going to do? He's going to get up and finish it right then and there.
Yeah, they told him it was too close that he may be losing against Showtime Sean Porter. He goes, "What?"
Yes,
He got
exactly.
up and did what he had to do, and I like Porter.
Me too. But yes, absolutely. So yeah, I definitely am putting my money on Bud for sure.
Well, let me rephrase that. Going into that fight, even before I had to pick him fight, I said, based on his last performance, is when I said I got Bud 2-1. But
yes,
they can change, go back and forth. I want to
sure,
see.
yeah, for
I want to
sure.
see how Bud just starts to settle in that weight. And you got to remember what his advantage is he used to be a wrestler, so he knows what
Yes,
to eat and what not. That weight he put on, that's just not freaking tortillas and cupcakes. Believe me, he's
exactly.
packing on that freaking protein. He's eating freaking steaks. He's
Yes,
eating good stuff. He probably hasn't even touched a carb. It's probably just all
yes,
real meat.
yeah. And you know, Bomac cooks a lot of their meals, and he cooks really well, and he knows what to feed his guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's not going to just let you just put it on and just show up. No way. That's
No,
not
there's
going to
no
happen.
way he's gonna let him eat
Too much
trash.
lose, too much legacy that he's chasing, and he's too much of a professional to do or think otherwise.
Absolutely, that's very true. He is definitely a master at his craft.
He is. He is. So I
Yes.
tell you what, though. Do you think Top Rank's card saves Cinco de Mayo as far as the fans, as far as the fights that happen in the main event?
Yeah, I do. I thought it was really, really good. They really did. You know, it was kind of funny. They were making jokes through
Yeah.
the whole telecast a little bit, you know. And I mean, it was funny. It was entertaining, you know, and it was true. They weren't lying.
No.
You know, I think Top Rank definitely came out on top, and I think they didn't mind jabbing a little bit at
No.
you know, Uncle Turk, you know,
No, they didn't.
because I mean, yeah, I don't blame them. But yeah, they definitely did. Inoue had a masterful performance. I
Great.
thought he did really amazing. Roman Cardenas, he really gave us a show too. They both did.
Yes, he
They
did.
both gave us a great
He did.
show. They did.
He did.
I was very pleased.
And I was
And it was on a
impressed with
Sunday.
Emiliano Vargas. I need him to get some rounds
I
in. I want to
missed
see him get
that.
some
I
rounds.
feel yeah, I missed that one. We
Well,
were
if
at
you
a
blink, you missed it. I want to see him
oh
get some
really?
rounds.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I missed that one.
Let me ask you this real quick. It hasn't been announced yet, but I'm thinking it's going to be announced pretty soon, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. Richard Torres against Jared Anderson. Richard Torres.
Yeah, you know, I love both those guys. I was blessed enough to be able to be in camps with them
Yes, you were.
when they were on Team USA,
Yep.
and they're both so talented. I think it all comes down to the mentality of it all. And I love Jared's coach too. I think that he's done a really good job with he and Tiger. Um, um, and Richard, I mean, he also is amazing, but it seems like Jared has not been wanting to be in the ring lately. It seems like he's really second guessing his career choice. I know that previously he talked about not wanting to age out in boxing and
Yeah.
getting in and getting out. And then his last fight, the one after he was, you know, stopped, um, he was like he didn't want to go the 10 rounds. He's like, I know this guy's gonna go 10 rounds and I don't want to go
Yeah.
10 rounds. So I think that that's gonna be the defining factor, like who's mentally the strongest
Yeah.
that night. Because maybe hopefully Jared's getting some kind of help and he's going to be ready. And then I think it's a 50-50 fight for both of them.
I do too going in, and you know I'm
Yeah.
friends with the Torres family, but I'm gonna call it like I
Yeah.
see it. It's going to be a very difficult fight for both of them. I think it's going to be competitive, and I think both men will bring out will both have their moments and bring out the best in each other.
I do agree with that too. I do because who's going to be the next heavyweight champ, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, I want you to keep an eye out for Josh Edwards, who just came
Okay.
out of the Olympics. He's signed with Golden Boy Oscar. I want you to keep an eye out for him.
Okay.
Just said it here. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Reach out to his people, and we got to bring them on. Definitely.
Absolutely.
And that's what we do. We use our platform to not just encourage the fighters, but give them the opportunity to be themselves, give them the opportunity to be heard, give them the opportunity to let the world know this is who I am, this is what I'm doing. And, just like the future of combat sports, I want to thank our sponsor in closing to FIGHTBOOK.com to pre-register. Go there, FIGHTBOOK.com to pre-register. They're launching June 1st. They're giving you a platform for the fighters, the fans, and coaches. Everyone in the fight game can now showcase their services. FIGHTBOOK is changing the fight game forever. Pre-registration is available. They're just like the fighter's voice, the only voice that matters. Listen,
I'm going to be dreaming about this. This is going to be like on my brain when I go to sleep. I'm going to be dreaming about it. You did a great job.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Christine, I know our time schedule is different. I know you got some things going on in the morning, but just tell the fans, the followers and supporters, how do we subscribe to your YouTube? How do we stay in contact with you? What's your Instagram? What's your handle? Let everybody know how to stay in tune with In the Ring with Christine.
Definitely. So all my social media is In the Ring with Christine. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's the same. Hit the little bell so every time I come on, I have a couple of things I do a few times in the morning. I'm starting to a new show that I've had like 3 or 4 episodes. Just lunch on Thursday afternoons. You never know who's coming on, but the one that everybody definitely tunes into and loves, and I have so much fun. It's my baby, my passion, is Women Crushing It Wednesdays. Every Wednesday night, 8 Central, 9 Eastern, with Nika, Crystal, and I. All boxing and, some fun too.
Oh, you got to keep it entertaining. You do, and you got to stay animated and bring your energy
Yes.
as you do.
Yes.
Christine, I would love to see you in Creed 3. Is it, do we have 3 or 4? What's the next Creed? 4?
4.
4. I would love to
Yeah.
see you in Creed 4 in some capacity, somehow, some way.
Well, I think that I would love to see me in Creed 4 too. Let's put it out there.
Let's put it out there. And when they're passing
Absolutely.
by and he gets interviewed with the fighter's voice,
Yeah.
I think it's a done deal for both of us.
Yeah,
Christine?
let's do it. Come on.
That's right. That's
Absolutely.
right. Indeed. Hey, we want to be on Creed. So you heard it first
Let's
here
go.
on Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank our sponsors today. I want to thank our guest, Christine, In the Ring.
Thank you.
Yeah, Christine is in the ring. In the Ring with Christine.
Yes.
And everybody out there, we're going to be touching more lives out there and giving women more opportunities, because women are often overlooked in the boxing business. They really are. And we got Christina Potcher coming on the show in the future. We got Brittany Goosen coming on, Callie Swanson. We got some other fighters coming on. We got Nancy Rodriguez coming on the show, and these are the ones, the premieres that open up the doors for the other future of women in sports, because it's 50-50. It's not 60-40. It's not you walk behind me, women walk beside you, because it's fair grounds right here. And I've always said that, because it's like me telling my daughter, "Oh no, you'll always be no, mija."
Right.
You put yourself where you want to be, and that's number one. So exactly. So
if I can just say that it's such an honor to be mentioned in the same breath as all those amazing women, it is, because I admire them all and they're fabulous. So I appreciate that very much.
Absolutely. Hey, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube, please subscribe. www.youtube.com/thefightersvoice. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. As always, it's a wrap. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week. Remember, it's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, the special guests, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.